Freedom in capitalist society always remains about the same as it was in ancient Greek republics: freedom for slave owners. A lie told often enough becomes the truth. Give me 4 years to teach the children, and the seed I have sown will never be uprooted. There are decades where nothing happens, and there are weeks where decades happen. The way to crush the bourgeoisie is to grind them between the millstones of taxation and inflation. Trust is good, but control is better. Sometimes history needs a push. Without a revolutionary theory, there cannot be a revolutionary movement. One man with a gun can control 100 without one. Democracy is indispensable to socialism. The goal of socialism is communism. The press should be not only a collective propagandist and a collective agitator, but also a collective organizer of the masses. The best way to destroy the capitalist system is to debauch the currency. Every cook has to learn how to govern the state. It is necessary sometimes to take 1 step backward, to take 2 steps forward. A revolution is impossible without a revolutionary situation. Furthermore, not every revolutionary situation leads to revolution. Learning is never done without errors and defeat. We need the real nationwide terror which reinvigorates the country and through which the great French Revolution achieved glory. It is true that liberty is precious, so precious that it must be carefully rationed. Despair is typical of those who do not understand the causes of evil, see no way out, and are incapable of struggle. The most important thing when ill is to never lose heart. Capitalists are no more capable of self-sacrifice than a man is capable of lifting himself up by his own bootstraps. No amount of political freedom will satisfy the hungry masses. There can be nothing more abominable than religion. Can a nation be free if it oppresses other nations? It cannot. Any cook should be able to run the country. To rely upon conviction, devotion, and other excellent spiritual qualities, that is not to be taken seriously in politics. The history of all countries shows that the working class exclusively by its own effort is able to develop only trade union consciousness. Communism is Soviet power plus the electrification of the whole country. War cannot be abolished unless classes are abolished. To substitute one tyranny for another is not the solution. If socialism can only be realized when the intellectual development of all the people permits it, then we shall not see socialism for at least 500 years. When there is state, there can be no freedom, but when there is freedom, there will be no state. Revolution can never be forecast, it cannot be foretold, it comes of itself. Marxism is the revolutionary theory and the revolutionary practice of the proletariat. We can and must write in a language which sows among the masses hate, revulsion, and scorn toward those who disagree with us. The oppressed are allowed once every few years to decide which particular representatives of the oppressing class shall represent and repress them in Parliament. The purpose of terrorism is to terrorize. Give us the child for 8 years and it will be a Bolshevik forever. 3 keys to success. Read, read, read. When one makes a revolution, one cannot mark time. One must always go forward or go back. He who now talks about the freedom of the press goes backward and halts our headlong course towards socialism. There are no morals in politics. There is only expedience. The state is an instrument in the hands of the ruling class, used to break the resistance of the adversaries of that class. The surest way to destroy a nation is to debauch its currency. It is impossible to predict the time and progress of revolution. It is governed by its own more or less mysterious laws. There is no subtler, no surer means of overturning the existing basis of society than to debauch the currency. There can be no doubt that our army is ready to do its duty to defend our country. Our program necessarily includes the propaganda of atheism. Under socialism, all will govern in turn and will soon become accustomed to no one governing. If you are not a part of the solution, you are a part of the problem. One of the basic conditions for the victory of socialism is the arming of the workers and the disarming of the bourgeoisie. Give me just one generation of youth, and I'll transform the whole world. It is essential to grasp the true meaning of our current tasks, to see their connection, their interrelation, to be able to distinguish the peculiar features of each of these tasks, to observe their sequence and hierarchy. War is the continuation of politics by other means. The bourgeoisie is many times stronger than we. To give it the weapon of freedom of organization is to enrich our enemy. Freedom is a precious thing, so precious that it should not be squandered. It is, of course, much easier to shout abuse and howl than to attempt to relate, to explain. People always have been, and they always will be, stupid victims of deceit and self-deception in politics. When one makes a revolution, one cannot mark time. One must always go forward or go back.